Hey everyone, Natalie Teston, family law lawyer in Gainesville, Georgia here. I wanted to take a few minutes and explain some general concepts surrounding child support in the state of Georgia. One of the most frequent questions that we get from our clients is, why does my child support award look so much different than my friends? We live on the same street, we have the same number of children. How are our numbers so different? Very frequent question, and basically the answer is this. The child support worksheet here in Georgia that we have to use thanks to the Georgia General Assembly looks at so many specific factors to try to get the number that's right for your specific family. And so it's a very individualistic approach to finding child support. And so it's no wonder then that families that have different incomes, that have different expenses, that have different number of children, all these things can move that child support number up, down, all around. And that's why frequently no two child support worksheets look the same. So the very first thing that we're going to look at when we are coming up with a child support worksheet in your case is the number of children. There's lines where we can add up to, I think, 12 different children on the worksheet. And so we plug in your children with their names, their birth dates, and plug them into the worksheet. The next thing that we do, and perhaps one of the most important things that we do, is look at what are the true gross monthly incomes of both parents. Now, gross means before taxes, before your 401k is taken out. A gross amount is a little silly to use in some respects because none of us ever get our gross amount. And so in coming up with that number, what we're looking for is to try to find an average. And that's because most people get paid in lots of different ways. There's overtime, bonuses, commissions, different things that can happen throughout the year. Maybe you get a periodic gift from your parents every year. The Georgia Child Support Worksheet is going to try its best to find every single source of income that's out there for both parents. And since these numbers can fluctuate, typically what we do is to try to find a yearly number and then try to find a monthly average. And the worksheet and our Uniform Superior Court rules tell us this is how we have to figure that amount out. If you have a yearly number, you need to find the per week average. And so we take our yearly number divided by 52 weeks, that's our weekly average. And then to get a monthly average, we times that by 4.35. And so that's how we get our monthly gross income for each parent. And so sometimes that takes a little digging into documents, looking at business records, all sorts of things to try to figure out. But once we've got that, we plug in both of those numbers. So the complaint that we hear a lot of times is, well, that's a commission based. I'm not guaranteed to get that, or that was just a really great year. This year looks different. The courts don't really care about that. Again, the worksheet is trying to find every source of income that you have, down to unemployment benefits, VA disability, prizes and lottery winnings, gifts are on the worksheet. And finally, if one of the 22 or 23 ways of classifying your income above don't work, there's a nice little box that says any other income, just in case somehow the General Assembly has missed the form of income that you're receiving. That's important for us to know. So once we've got both parties' incomes in the worksheet automatically spits out a number that's calculated based on the number of children that are in the worksheet. Now, this is what I tell people. The worksheet is still of the opinion that the non-custodial parent is going to have what we call standard visitation, meaning essentially every other weekend, 2 weeks in the summer, split holidays, something that equates to roughly 21% of the parenting time per year. We are seeing lots of courts not award that, and in fact order more and more shared custody. And so in some respects, our Georgia Child Support Worksheet is a little antiquated, that it's not really keeping up with the times of what we're seeing judges award in so many cases. And so there's a box on that worksheet that we use frequently to kind of bring down that non-custodial parent's amount, and it's called the parenting time deviation box. So if you really are a 50-50 custodial family, then we need to deviate you down 30-something percent, right, to get you to, or I guess 29%, to get you to a true 50-50 worksheet, what that worksheet would spit out if it had a more updated custody plan that was its central focus. But unfortunately, it's assuming that non-custodial parent has about 21% of the time with the child. So that's another box that we use to kind of move that number around, the one that's just automatically spit out just by virtue of plugging in your kids and plugging in your incomes. Two other boxes that courts frequently use are, and actually have to use, is health insurance premiums on behalf of the child, and then also work-related child care costs. So if one parent is covering themselves and the children on their health insurance every month, then we need to calculate what part of that monthly premium is the children's portion. And then we plug that in the worksheet. And the worksheet is going to automatically divide that cost pro rata the incomes of the parties. So if you and your co-parent are earning equal amounts, then the worksheet's going to split that premium 50-50. So the parent that's paying over is going to go down if they're the ones covering it. If it's the custodial parent that's covering it, well, then the non-custodial parent, their monthly amount's going to go up half that amount if they're earning equal. If one parent's earning double what the other parent's earning, then that's going to be split 1/3, 2/3, and so on. So that is how we apply that ratio to insurance premiums that cover the children, not the other parent, just the children, and work-related child care cost. Again, that's something that goes into the worksheet. We figure out who's paying what, and then the worksheet makes the adjustments on that pro rata basis. There are lots of other boxes on the worksheet where we can ask for all sorts of other deviations that may exist and may apply in your family. If there's private school tuition, if there's very costly extracurricular or specialized medical needs of the child that really aren't being taken into account in another area, we can fill in that box with those details. And then finally, there's a box that's called non-specific, which is, again, just kind of a catch-all that the Georgia General Assembly has ensured is in that worksheet so that we can take into account whatever is going on in your family. So the worksheet, if you just print out every single page of it, is about 10 or 11 pages. Full of ways that we can tweak this number up, down, all around. And so when you think about that, then it would be surprising if you and your friend down the street had the same child support award, right? You guys would have to line up exactly the same on so many issues that it's just nearly impossible. So child support here in the state of Georgia is designed to look at your specific family, the parent-specific incomes, the exact number of children, their specific needs, what their specific expenses are each and every month to come up with a number that works. And one thing to keep in mind when you're looking at the child support worksheet is this. This is going to be the bare minimum, the legally required, what the state of Georgia is saying, hey, you non-custodial parent, you have to kick this over in order to support your child on a legal basis. So again, it forms the bare minimum. We hope, wish and pray, parents go over that amount in other areas, which is a lot of times going to be the expenses that you incur when the child's in your custody. So just keep that in mind, that this is a bare minimum legal floor of an obligation of a parent to their child. If you want to learn more about child support, if you want to learn what a child support worksheet looks like in your specific case, then give us a call. We'd be glad to talk to you, happy to work through some issues and see what we could do for you, possibly in court, to either get the most child support possible or get it as low as possible, depending on what side of the equation we're on. Thanks, everyone.